What did you guys do in the online mobile app, Josh?
In that one, the meetings were kind of different. There wasn't a requirement of like, we met every week, but like we started from the beginning building the app.
Oh, right.
Yeah, like we didn't do this whole like teaching one another. Well, we were supposed to teach each other, but it wasn't like as formal as this.
Mm-hmm.
So in the portfolio, it says that we have to make a posting on our team community with links to our team's meetings, with the timestamp of our teammates answering team questions.
I thought that was
And
on the personal.
Yeah, that's our personal thing.
But if we don't have a team meeting, then how are we supposed to do that?
Well, we taught each other last week, so that's the video we would put, and then the next week, I don't know. I just saw that there was a personal video due this week, and I wasn't sure if that meant that we weren't going to meet as a team.
Well, it says in lesson 3 instructions, you should meet together as a group using Hangouts and record the meeting, and it needs to be posted in the team community. So.
Oh, okay.
Like if you go to lesson 3 introduction, it says, please remember. I think it's just inferred that you're supposed to meet every week. What is going on?
Yeah.
So who do we got? We're missing Brooke and Josh now.
Josh was here.
Josh is back. So is Brooke, but something
Sorry,
happened.
I'm on my phone, so I think I'm just losing connection.
Oh, okay. Brooke, are you there? Brooke, your microphone is on mute.
What?
I was telling Brooke her microphone was on mute. Brooke, can you hear us?
I think it auto-mutes us when we get in here.
Yeah, it does.
If you hover over your name, Brooke, there's a little red circle with a microphone with a slash through it. Click on it, and it should remove it.
Mine doesn't mute me automatically. Wish it did.
Mine started off as muted. So.
Yeah, mine didn't. That's weird.
We wish it would too, Aaron.
I know you do.
Just kidding.
So I don't know. The only person I think we're waiting for is Brooke, but she says she's there. She's just muted. Can you hear us?
She says in the chat that she can't hear or see any of us.
I'll let her try to restart her computer. Sometimes that happens.
Is she on her phone? I told her to try Safari because Safari is the only thing working for me. So did everyone have a good day?
Busy day, yeah.
So in the in this week's work, it does say you should meet together as a group using Hangouts. and the recorded meeting needs to be posted to your team community.
Cool.
All right.
Aaron's
Well,
gonna record it, right? You're gonna record it on your desktop.
mine, it says it's recording right now. It says through, I have this thing called QuickTime Player. So it says it's recording. I hope it doesn't fail us. It says it's recording our full screen. So,
Okay.
or my full screen. So
Cool.
we've used it before last year for project management. So it seemed to work pretty good.
Did you take that class online, Aaron?
Yeah. There's no other way to take that class. Brooke, are you there finally? Can you hear us? You're on mute.
I'm here.
Oh.
Did Safari work?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, come on, it's Google's browser and it doesn't work.
I know it's jacked up. So, do you
Mine's
guys
working this, but it wasn't last.
want me to start, Jared?
Yeah, sure.
All right.
For it.
Let me pull it up and then I'll screen share. Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah.
Brooke, there's a lot of noise behind you, so you come up on all of our screens.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I'm at the
You can just
building.
click on yourself, and then you'll show up on there. Just click on your little picture, so that way you're constantly on there.
Oh, I'm supposed to do that?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Click on your name, so that way you see. I mean, I guess it's recording your desktop anyway, so it doesn't.
Yeah, so it shouldn't matter. All right, can everyone see that? Ah, fetch. Do you guys hear me? What happened? You guys there?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, dude, I thought I lost this stupid.
Waiting for you to start sharing something.
I clicked present to everyone. Okay. So I was researching again collections. That's what I kind of talked about last week. And so I know what arrays are, and so I was trying to find information about what an array is versus a collection, and they're not really comparable because they have different functionalities, but they have some things that I could compare to help me understand. So the first thing is you have a group of information, we know how to store it in an array, but a collection says it's better than array because arrays you only have one type of data you can store, and collections you can store any different kinds of data. So you can have like a string, a number, an object, all in the same collection. And you can also, like an array, if you declare an array of 50, it's going to set aside that much memory. So, but in the collection, it just, if you say 5, it's going to store 5, or 50, it's going to store 50. It's dynamic for how much you want to store. And then there's different types of collections when you use collections. There's lists, there's sets, and there's maps. And so you have different ways to declare or use collections. I need to get some code and actually use some to find out more about the types of collections that you use. And then there's subtypes, which are ordered, unordered, sorted, and unsorted. So that's kind of the gist of what I learned about collections more than last week. Trying to study them a lot last last night and tonight. So
Okay,
that's
definitely helps because I was thinking I had no idea that that's what that meant. So
yeah.
so like a
Well,
collection. So if it's a list, then that's a Java collection.
yeah. Apparently,
Huh, that's interesting.
so
Yeah.
it's total. What I learned this week was kind of totally different than what I learned last week because it was talking
Yeah.
about containers and stuff. So hopefully next week I'll have like some code or an example of something I can show. I'll just keep plugging away at it.
Yeah. Well, that's definitely good to at least have an overall better understanding.
All right,
Okay.
who's next? I'm gonna.
Rick,
I have
let's
to.
just go down the line.
This is a different. I think I have to stop sharing. Just different than Hangouts on Air slightly. There we go. I should not be sharing anymore.
Nope, you're not. Okay, Brooke, do you want to go next since you're next in line? Going
Sure.
left to right. Okay.
Where's that thing? So my little menu bar disappeared where you can like click it. Does anybody know how to get that back?
Just hover over it and it should come back.
I tried. It's not doing anything.
Are you on a Windows? I'm just joking.
That's your problem.
The heck?
Maybe we could have Colton go while Brooke tries to figure that out.
Sorry.
I might have to disconnect then if it's not showing up anywhere.
Okay. Yeah, just disconnect and rejoin.
Colton, are you there?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's just sitting really still.
Yeah, I'm like, wow, he's like froze or
Maybe.
something.
I'm just practicing, being dead.
Brooks on mute again.
Oh, okay. You guys ready? Can you see that?
Yep.
Okay. So, the topic that I decided to study was model view controller. So here's a little model of MVC, and starts out with a big cycle basically where you go from the controller, which manipulates the model updates the view, and the view sees the user interface. So a model represents an object, or Java Pojo. Does anybody know what a Java Pojo is?
Isn't that like the stick you jump up and down on?
Yeah, I think that's it, yep. I don't know what it is, so I was hoping one of you guys did. Anyways, the Java Pojo, it carries data. It can have logic to update the controller, so if you change data or something changes within that, it'll automatically update back to the controller. The view section represents visualization of the data, pretty simple there. And then the controller acts with both the model and the view. It controls the data flow into the object and updates it whenever it sees changes. But something that I was reading that's really important to remember is that the view and the model are separate. Here's another model that I liked. It shows it a little bit more in depth, where you have a controller kind of in the middle, and it sends an HTTP response to the browser, and the browser responds with an HTTP request back to the controller. Then the controller executes those parameters to the model, and the model returns back to the controller with the resulting data arrays. And then from there, you have the view, which is kind of just like a little branch off of the controller that controls with the GUI, and same as the model with the data arrays. Here's an example of some code I found for model. So it's showing public class called student and a string called get role no, and then set role no, get name, etc. So that's an example of the model. And then we have the view, which is going to be again a public class student view, where you can have a string or print line, etc. And then the controller, this is going to show you again a public class for the controller instead of the view or the model, and it can set student names, get student names, kind of like we talk about in getters and setters. And that's about it for model view. So, any questions?
So
I don't have any questions.
Brooke, do you know if the model, because I thought the model directly affected the view, because one of your diagrams shows, and the other one kind of shows everything going through the controller. So,
You mean this one?
well, both of them, because this one shows the model or the view going kind of from the controller, the model, but I thought the model directly affected the view, like in the other, like the model went straight to the view. Do we know? Or does it even matter?
I think there's different ways of doing it.
Yeah, that's probably true. It's just kind of like a style, I think. As far as I understand, I don't think it's something that's like set in stone. Am I wrong here?
I think you're right. It's it seems like there would be like a kind of a as far as the structure of it, it seems like it would be like, okay, this is MVC and it has to be this structure. There's different. I mean, you can have like multiple views or multiple models, but I thought it had to be more structured. But I don't know. So that's cool.
Yeah, I don't really know. I just researched and this is what I found.
That's cool. Yeah, that's good.
I think just depending on what you're working with, it's different. Because like at work, I use a framework called Sense of Touch, and they have model view controller, and they even added a whole other category called store.
Oh, really?
So,
Oh,
yeah,
that's cool.
store is sort of just like the actual data that's stored, and model is like the way the data is formed, like the structure of the data, and then the view is the visual display of the data, and then the controller is the one that controls the logic behind the data. So
Cool.
I think it's just different for what kind of
Yeah.
framework you're working with, or just language or something.
I like those diagrams.
All right, well, I'll pass it over to somebody else.
Okay, Colton, you want to go?
Yep.
And Aaron, it's showing up on your screen as the big one, right? They're going.
Say that again.
It's showing up visibly on your screen, right? So you can see their code.
Oh yeah. It's showing up on my screen.
Sorry, kick me out. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
I went to share my screen and it kicked me out. Okay, can you see that?
Um,
I can see it.
I
Okay.
see Jared.
So
Oh, there we go.
click on my.
I see it now.
I didn't really like learning about Java beans last week because I didn't really get it. So I decided to move on and learn about something different. And I wanted to show you guys a cool thing that I found last semester with that has to do with the UML diagram. So I'm in Eclipse right here, and it's just a plugin to Eclipse called Architecta. And I don't know if they make a plugin for NetBeans or anything else, but it essentially makes these diagrams, creates these diagrams for you. Not all
Oh,
of them, but
dude,
there's
that's
like
way cool.
class diagrams, layer diagram, and then the sequence diagrams are the ones that were like the toughest for me. So this thing, it does it for you. So if you just start one, the sequence diagram, you can drag, and this is from the Turtle 1, from whatever class that was that we used these. System analysis, that was it. So you just drag the classes or methods in. So if you drag the get endpoint, then you can click on it, and it doesn't have any methods. Let me find one that does. So if you click on it, let's do the move button. I know it'll have some. So then you can click on it, and it'll pull up all the things that are called from the move button. So enabled, set enabled, false, set enabled true, and you can click on it, and it'll just kind of create this sequence for you. So I like it because you can, as you're using it, you can kind of see how the code works. If I'm the user and I click on this button, the set move button, what's going to happen in the code. That's what would happen if it was true. You could look if it was false. It just kind of lays it out in the sequence for you. So I thought that was really cool. I don't know if any of you use Eclipse or not, but
Yeah, I'm trying, but apparently it doesn't work for JSON.
oh right.
I was hoping there'd be a plugin for it, but
Let's
I
see.
haven't found one.
Didn't most people use it for Java 1?
Yeah, I use it for Java.
You should be able to use pull down some JSON data using Eclipse. So I was watching a tutorial on how to do it, and the guy was doing it in Eclipse.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, I could show what I've got so far.
Yeah.
Something I'm working on. All right, let me see here.
Did we lose Josh?
Yeah, he had to
Josh?
go.
Can you guys see my screen? Yeah.
Yeah, I can see it.
All right.
Sorry. So did anybody have any questions or comments or anything on that? I keep getting dropped.
No, that was way cool. I liked it. It's called what is it called again?
Architecta.
Architects.
All right. We'll go ahead and do this then. So I went ahead and was studying JSON, and that stands for JavaScript Object Notation, for those of you that don't know. And here we've got an example of, two examples of objects, one in JavaScript and one in JSON. And as you can see, the only real difference is that you're assigning group members to a variable here in JavaScript. And then there's a, let's see here.
So
To change an object,
why you don't have to assign it to a variable in JSON?
that's just the syntax that you use. It knows
It knows
that
it's a
that's what
variable.
you're doing when you just use the double quotes and you start to assign it here, because they don't use equals, they use a colon instead.
Cool.
So then I've got how to change an object from JavaScript into JSON. I'm sorry, that's wrong. It's supposed to be JSON into JavaScript. Wait. Never mind. Ignore this. All right. So we've got the, here's a JavaScript string using JSON syntax and variable example, and we're naming it group members here. I'm not entirely sure what this is. I'm guessing this is just the object name, but we're actually assigning it to a variable. It's kind of a mix between JavaScript and JSON. It's using both of them. So basically, we took the code that was up here, and we're assigning that same code to the variable example. So we assign the JSON code to the variable example, and then you can do a create a variable here, object or obj equals JSON.parse, and that parses the example. And what is in the example? All the JSON. So it's now going to take that JSON and it's going to put it into JavaScript. So now that we've done that, we've created a JavaScript object, we can actually use that object in our HTML by doing a document.getElementById demo, which we assigned. Oh crud, where did I do it? Okay, yes, demo. Object.groupMembers1. So here's group members, and the first one in there is Devin Lindsay, and object, sorry, that was her first name, and object group members one last name, and that's going to select just the first and last name of the first part of the object there. So if we change it to 2, it'd be Josh Reed, and 3 would be Jared Raffle. That's what I've got for code.
Is that the only way to create an object in JavaScript?
I don't think so. I mean,
Yeah, yeah, because
I'm not a big JavaScript person. I never use it.
I know, me neither. So that's cool though, man. Does it run, or I guess that you're in Eclipse and can't get
Not
it
in here, no.
because you can't get it to.
I'm guessing it's probably some kind of plugin I've got to get for Eclipse to make it run JSON.
It's probably some kind of a library. Well, JavaScript, I don't think you need a library for JSON. I can't remember if you do or not.
Well, JSON is part. It's like a I want to say a subset of JavaScript. It's in there already with JavaScript. And you just have to specify that you're using it.
Well, JSON isn't necessarily like part of JavaScript, because you can do it using Java. You can do it with C#. You can use JSON objects in any language. But JavaScript is, I feel like, the easiest way to work with JSON objects.
Okay.
Because that JSON.parse function is really nice. It's super simple to be able to get it into an object that you can work with. Okay, I'll show you guys what I've been working on. Let's see. Okay. Okay, can you guys see my screen right now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, cool.
Well, not anymore. But yeah, that's back.
Can you? Okay, cool. Okay, so what I've been working with is this. Been following along with the tutorial of how to pull in data using HTTP requests, and I've gotten a little bit farther on that. Pretty much, sort of going along with what Devin was doing. The next part of my HTTP request was actually to pull down a JSON object. And I'll show you the web page that my JSON object that I'm pulling from the web is. So this is the JSON object that I'm pulling down. It's just got a bunch of different things in it. It's kind of unreadable if you just look at it straight on the HTTP site. But I remember Brother Barney, when I was in a mobile app class, he showed me a cool thing is this JSON format and validator. So I just copied and pasted the JSON object into here, and it made it a lot more readable. So you can see here that the first part is you can have the category is shrubs. So if you ever want to like pull up the category for this azalea plant, you just do like top category, or and then you'd bring up shrubs, and also the price. You know, it just breaks it down into a bunch of different strings. Or this looks like it's an end. And so I can show you in my code where I've been doing stuff with this. So unlike JavaScript, unfortunately, it's not quite so easy to parse, because I had to follow this tutorial, let's see, to do this, to make this whole entire class called JSON parser. Pretty much what it's doing is it's pulling in this JSON array, and I'm putting it into a list, and I'm calling it flower list. And then what I'm doing is I'm looping through that list and getting each of those JSON objects right here and putting it into this JSON object. And then I'm also making the flower object, which I have over here. I've made this, it's a model to store the data. Pretty much all it is just all the different things. Like, as you could remember, I don't know if you can see that one. Oh yeah, so like this product ID, like right here, product ID, name, it's back here under name. Pretty much each of those different categories, I have I guess a value in my flower class for each of those. So, so pretty much I'm pulling in each of those using that JSON parser that I had to follow a tutorial of how to do it. And I'm setting those flower, the model, to those variables that I'm extracting out of this object right here, because I set the object to equal the JSON object. And then this is just some exception handling. And then once I get that in there, I have I think it's in this flower adapter. Yeah, this flower adapter I'm controlling it's sort of like the view for that MVC is I'm creating. Well, I've already created the views in this is my activity XML. It has a list view and then a progress bar for when I'm loading the data in. But this list view, let's see, where'd that flower adapter go? So pretty much I'm just making a view, and then I'm setting it equal to that layouts item flower view, which was the list. And then and right here I'm doing the flower.get name, so I'm getting the name for the flower, and then putting space or a line break, and then the price for the flower, and then the line break, and then the instructions are right here, flower.get instructions. So let me just get this thing started, because sometimes this takes a little bit of time before this is I don't know if you guys downloaded this yet, this Genymotion. It's one of the suggested tools that we use, and it's so much better than any of the other emulators that come with Android Studio, or probably even better than Eclipse's built in. emulation devices if you were to get the Android plugin. But let's see. So that's just getting the text, a bunch of text. But I've also done this where it's got flower.getBitmap. So it's pulling some images, and those are actually coming from a different site. I'm not going to go there right now, but it's coming from, let's see, it's site, and this is pretty much, where is that? Yeah, right here. It's setting the image that I have, image in my XML, to be equal to the flower.bitmap, because I set the flower. So pretty much here, get that thing out. Okay, yeah. So I'll run my program now, so you can see what it's doing. Takes a little bit of time. Oh, there you go. Okay. Okay, so here's the app that I've made so far. And I press this get data, and it takes a little bit of time, but it pulls up each of the bitmaps that I've pulled from the web, and also the name, price, and here's the instructions from the JSON object. So, I mean,
Cool, man. Good job.
I think it's kind of complicated for how little of stuff it is, but.
So how long did it take you to do that?
Probably like 4 hours, just because.
Were you following the video tutorial?
Yeah, I was following video tutorial. But yeah, I mean, I've added a couple of stuff. So far, the video tutorial only went through like getting the name and the picture, but I mean, the rest of stuff's pretty easy to go through. But yeah, it's pretty cool stuff.
Give us a link to that tutorial. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I can give you the link. It's on Lynda though, so you'd have to have a subscription or access to it.
Of course it is, Jared. Just joking.
Okay, I gotta stop this thing because.
Yeah, it's going on forever.
Yeah, but for Brooke, is that the tutorial that you're following, or did you see that tutorial?
I saw the
Yeah,
one. It was the one about sockets or something.
Yeah, I'll post the link.
I don't know. I'll have to.
Don't they have like some kind of trial version of Lynda, or no?
I've never seen a trial of it. They have like the $35 a month or $25 a month, or you can pay like $250 for the whole year for the cheap version.
Yeah.
Like can you guys download tutorials and then watch them offline?
No, I don't think we can.
Because there's two different kinds. There's this kind that basically you get files, the files that they use in the videos, and you can watch them offline. That's the expensive version. The other version you can just watch it online.
Yeah. Well, if you guys want, I can post the code so far into our GitHub. I'll just post it under, I don't know, I'll make some kind of a branch and post it. That way you can pull that down.
Sounds good.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, and I'll post a link to the Lynda course just in case if anybody does have it in the Brooke or something like that.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna stop the recording. Is that all right?
Yep, seems good to me.